Hello beautiful people, my name is Vendi and today I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be reading in the month of May. So it's freaking me out that April has sort of wound down to a close. 2018 is going by a lot faster than I expected it to, which is both a blessing and a curse. I'm basically done with my junior year of college and I'm a little bit nervous about that, but I'm also super excited. As it is, tomorrow are my finals and I'll officially after that be a rising college senior, which is terrifying. And in just a couple of weeks, I'll be turning 21. And I'm going through a little bit of existential dread right now just thinking about it. But it's fine. It'll be okay. It's a new month, a new dawn, a new day. And I've decided, in light of all that newness coming up, that I wanted to try something a little bit different for my TBR this month. As you can see, the stack right next to me is rather short, and the reason for that is I want to keep my TBR really unplanned for this month. There's only a couple books that I absolutely 100% want to get to, and for the rest, I sort of just want to let things happen as they will. So because I have a lot of studying to do tomorrow, I think it's best if I keep this video really short and snappy. And that means it's time to just get it started. So the first book, or rather books, that I'm going to be reading throughout the entire month of May is the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. So if you've been following my channel for a little while now, then you'll know that every so often my friend Lou over at Books Your Way of Life and I host a thing that we call Book Bay Read Along. Basically, it's just a bunch of books that she and I both have on our TBRs that we want to read, and then we do it together and invite you guys to join us. The only Sarah J. Maas book that I've ever read is Throne of Glass, and that was a couple years back, and I wasn't a big fan. But I've heard so many good things about the A Court of Thorns and Roses series that I figured, gotta give this author a second chance, and I hear that there's some steamy new adultness in this, and there's also fairies / elves, a la Lord of the Rings. As a giant nerd for all things fantasy, this is a series that I've been eyeing for a while, even after my not so warm reaction to Throne of Glass. So I'm really excited to get into it as soon as possible. I know that this is book 3. It's because I haven't bought books 1 and 2 yet, because I knew that if I did, I wouldn't study at all and I would just start the series, and it seems like a bingeable series, so that was a problem that I wanted to nip in the bud. I don't really know much about the series besides the fact that the first is sort of loosely based on Beauty and the Beast, because Beauty and the Beast retellings were really big around about the time it came out. I've heard it diverges greatly from the lore of that story and just becomes its own thing, so I'm very excited about this one. The next book I want to read is a sort of unpopular book by a very popular author, and it is The Way of Shadows by Brent Weeks. Brent Weeks is the author of the Lightbringer series, I think it's called. It starts with the Black Prism. Basically, he is a powerhouse high fantasy author. I don't know much about The Way of Shadows. I know that it's about assassins, and that's really enough for me. And I don't really know. My little brother picked this up from Barnes & Noble years ago and just didn't enjoy it, but I saw it on his shelf and I was like, can I have this? And he was like, absolutely. I don't know what it is that draws me to it. Maybe it's just the fact that there's assassins. Maybe it's the fact that it looks like, you know, those trashy, gritty, super manly man noir novels. I'm talking about stuff like by Tom Clancy, or I don't actually know any of these authors because I don't really read those things. Basically, all male cast, almost guaranteed misogyny, super gritty, pulpy, like 30-something-year-old guy that drinks his coffee with a shot of whiskey in it, like those like really pulpy paperbacks. I feel like this is gonna be that, but with magic and like fantastical elements, and I don't know, sometimes you just crave that. I never really crave misogyny, it just sort of is a byproduct of stuff like this, and I might have completely misjudged this book. It might have absolutely nothing to do with that at all. Hopefully The Way of Shadows will sate this really odd urge that I've been feeling to read something like that. This is Brent Weeks' debut. I've heard that he gets much better, so I will not judge him as an author based off of this book. It's just something that I'm really interested in reading. After that, I'm going to be continuing on the adult fantasy kick, and I'm going to be reading The Savior's Champion by Jenna Moreci. If you're into the whole AuthorTube side of BookTube, and I do consider them part of the same like umbrella of literature YouTube, I guess, then you'll know that Jenna Moreci is a highly successful author-tuber and pretty successful self-published author. The Savior's Champion is her second novel, and from what I've gathered, because I've tried to go into this book blind, it is about basically a bunch of men, 20 men compete in a tournament to the death to see who will be the husband slash courtesan of the savior, who is a woman who basically brings their land prosperity and life. They do this by taking part in a thing called the Sovereign's Tournament, in which the savior's father basically sets up the most complicated labyrinth and series of events so that these 20 men can prove who is the strongest and fittest and best capable of being the savior's husband and the future king. We follow Tobias, who is an artist turned farmer, and he made this switch to kind of keep his family fed and alive. And Tobias joins the Sovereign's Tournament not really willingly, but he kind of has to make enough money to take care of his mother and sister. And then he finds out that the Sovereign's Tournament is a lot more than he originally anticipated, and the story goes from there. I don't know who's going to end up together. I don't know who's going to survive. I've read the first 3 chapters because Jenna Moreci has them up on her website where you can read them completely free. Basically, you can just read them and decide if the Savior's Champion sounds like something that you would like. As a huge fan of Greco-Roman mythology being incorporated into other things, and also bloodshed, and also doomed love, the Savior's Champion sounds like exactly the sort of thing that I'm going to be into. I cannot wait to love this book and support another YouTuber in her endeavors. You really gotta hustle to make it in this world, and Jenna hustles, so I am really glad to have been able to support her in a thing and also get a really good book out of it. Or I'm assuming it's really good. I haven't read it yet, but I will let you know in my wrap-up for this month. After The Savior's Champion, I want to read Passenger by Alexander Bracken. If you remember my mini second-hand book buying haul from a couple months back now, I think, then you'll remember that I asked you guys which book that I should read next, and Passenger was the book that made it to second place in the voting. So I figured it's about time that I pick it up. I still don't really know anything about it besides the fact that there is time travel. I've been having this urge to reread Outlander for the 3rd or 4th time now, and I know it's a problematic book. I'm still trash for it. Let me live. Hopefully Passenger will sort of quell those urges until I can get my hands on my copy of Outlander again. And the last book that I want to plan to read in the month of May is one that I'm super late to the game on, but I think I need it or something like it to sort of break the monotony of fantasy all the time, which I normally don't have an issue with, but all of these books seem like they have the potential to be super dark, and I want something that'll sort of like lift my spirits from all of that. And so the book that I've chosen to do that is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. All I know about this book is that it's supposed to be super cute and that there is a girl in STEM, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and I think there's something about an arranged marriage trope, but I'm not sure. I don't know what it is. I'm really in the mood to read something cute and romantic, and that's what I've heard that this book is, so hopefully I really enjoy it. At the very least, it's gonna brighten my day because look at how bright and orange this cover is. I really love it when books are beautiful under their dust jackets, and one of the simplest ways to make them beautiful is just by making them a really vibrant color that you don't see very often. But I'm getting completely off topic. So When Dimple Met Rishi for my cute summary contemporary fix of this month. And there you have it, guys. This is my tentative May TBR. I will definitely be reading more books than this, but these 5 are going to be the cornerstones of what I read this month. Technically it's 7 because A Court of Rings and Ruin is a stand-in for the entire ACOTAR trilogy, but either way I think that this is a pretty solid selection. I'm really happy to be diving back into my fantasy roots and then also branching out a little bit with some contemporary, because this is the month that I turned 21, and new beginnings are supposed to be the opportunities when you try things that you wouldn't normally try. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you liked me, maybe subscribe to this channel. I promise next time that you see me, I will look less rough because school will be over, and that means my skin will clear, and the bees will return, and everything will be nice, and hopefully Boston will get some sunny days so that I can rely on more than the sad diffuse lighting through the rain coming in through my window as a light source to film. I should probably get a ring light. Regardless, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye. As you